Hey, thanks for checking out the Illini Inquirer YouTube channel. If you can do us a favor, continue your support. Give us a follow here on YouTube. Hit the notifications button, hit the subscribe button. That really helps us out. We're hoping to give you more content on our video channel here, whether it's player interviews, reactions, our daily dish series where we're going to be more topical and talk about the Illini. So give us some support. We appreciate all of it. Give us a follow, hit the notifications bell as well, and subscribe to us here on Illini Inquirer YouTube. Welcome into the Daily Dish. I'm Jeremy Warner. He's Joey Wagner. Let's talk a little football to start the week, Joey, because Bret Bielema has already had some post-spring ball attrition. He's also adding 5 transfers so far. Most of them is blue shirt additions, which the reason that is interesting of not adding guys in the class of 2020, but using the blue shirts to add them in the class of 2023. All those numbers jumbling, Joey, that confuses everybody, is they still have 2 scholarships remaining in their class of 2022. And I think they plan on using those, right? They wouldn't leave those unfulfilled and add blue shirts unless they planned on using those. So what do you think would be the number one need they look for with the transfer portal still out there, many talents still available? What do you think is the number one need?
I think it has to be a wide receiver. I think you need a true outside wide receiver. You know what you have in Isaiah Williams in the slot. You could even put a Miles Scott, a Hank Beatty type guys in the slot and feel okay enough behind Isaiah Williams. But outside, you know what Casey Washington is. He's physical. He's not as burner in any stretch of the imagination, but he's fine. He's a solid wide receiver who's going to be physical. He's got good hands. But on the other side, Pat Bryant showed some flashes as a freshman, but he's going into a sophomore, still pretty largely unproven. The Brian Hightower thing, we still haven't really gotten much clarity on, and really none, right? You like what he brings physically. You like the upside with him. Obviously, he was highly recruited, highly regarded out of high school. I thought he had a pretty nice season in 2020 opposite Joshi Madubuike, but last year just fell out of the rotation. Injuries happened. We never really got an explanation why. So how much do you put into that? And that's why I think you've got to, if you can get an outside guy, I know Marcus Washington is in the portal. Those guys would make sense. Somebody who can be a true X, who can go out there and be a go up and get it guy for either Tommy DeVito, likely Tommy DeVito probably, or Artur Sikowski.
Yeah, hat tip to my guy, Matt Spiegel, 670 to score. The Guagi guy, go up and get it. I agree with you. A guy who can go out there, block a little bit, but also just win those kind of one-on-one battles and take advantage, I think, of the mismatches or the good matchups you're going to get with Isaiah Williams getting so much attention in the slot. And yeah, Marcus Washington, I don't know if that'll happen, but it makes sense. Corey Patterson, the connection from Trinity Catholic, playing with Isaiah Williams and Reggie Love, he might want to reunite with those guys. So that would be a guy to watch. Another one is Ty Bowman, a JUCO wide receiver that Illinois almost added as a blue shirt addition last year, but he had an offer from Penn State out of prep school, played at St. Thomas More, where Miles Scott came from. So he's got some connections there. So those are 2 names to watch. But I agree with you, Joey. It feels like it's always been a big need, but they've been very patient in trying to find those names. And I got to be honest with you, there was a lot of good talent that entered the transfer portal right before that May 1st deadline at wide receiver, and there's probably not enough scholarship spots across the country. So I think Illinois is going to add somebody there that could help them immediately. The other spot, and I don't know if me personally would think this is like atop the needs here, but they have been very aggressive in looking for more defensive linemen. They've already added 2 in this class, right? Which Rashawn Wilkins out of Vanderbilt and also T-Rod Edwards out of Northwestern, but they're still looking for more help. They recruited Devin Drew, hosted him for an official visit, which means they would have had to have taken him in the class 2022, but he commits to Nebraska, which needs a lot of help up front as well. But they keep looking for defensive line depth. So despite having Johnny Newton and Keith Randolph, who you feel great about, right? Like those are 2 guys who could be NFL players. Nose guard, they've added a lot of competition. They're not counting on Calvin Avery and Vertus Brown. It seems like that those guys need to be pushed, but also the depth behind them. Jamal Woods is back, but he's always been hurt. He has an injury, it seems like, every year. And then guys behind them are real question marks. So they keep looking for defensive linemen, Joey. So they must want to address that, especially after hosting Devin Drew for an official visit.
Yeah, that would be to me, that's the easy number two. We saw them address offensive line with Dylan Davis. So I think you probably feel pretty good about that side. But defensive line, one, I think, Jeremy, you and I are kind of the belief. I don't know that you can ever have enough quality defensive linemen who can play in a football game and play to a level where there's not a significant drop off. And I don't think we think there is enough there right now. And, the star power, you're exactly right. The star power is there. But if you can just get one more guy, I think, with probably some additional eligibility, Rashawn Wilkins, I believe, has 2 years. Is that right? T. Rod Edwards still has 3, 4. So you probably want another guy in that mix. That COVID year really messes me up, man, trying to keep track of all of this. But yeah, I think defensive lineman is easy the number 2 spot behind wide receiver. Honorable mention, Jeremy, maybe kind of a weird take. Safety, if you can get somebody with multiple years, and with the understanding that, hey, it's going to be a minute, right? You're probably going to need to wait around behind Sidney Brown, behind Kendall Smith, we think right now. That would be just an interesting, like the really, really right fit, kind of like how CJ Hart was at linebacker last year.
Yeah, I agree with that, Joey. I think that's a need. I think it's a huge need in the class of 2023, along with defensive line, because there's a bunch of seniors and then nothing in the middle and a bunch of freshmen. So Keontae Curry, Prince Green, I think could be impact players for you in 2023, but I think they're going to have to add somebody. Maybe it's next off season, right? Where safety becomes the number one need in the transfer portal. All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see where Illinois football goes from here, and we'll cover it all at IlliniInquirer.com.